That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? I have been very excited for Novocaine. I've just been really stoked for it. I love Jack Quaid. And yes, it's Dennis Quaid's kid. Of course, I first took notice of him in The Boys, like a lot of people did. He wasn't bad in that role he had in that Scream movie. And then we saw him in The Companion, it's called. He was actually really good, and that's a fun movie. That's a good movie, man. You should check that out. But the one I've been really looking forward to is Novocaine. It's basically like a Darkman setup.
Yeah.
And like a Kick-Ass setup. He's just a guy who has this condition where he doesn't feel pain.
Oh, wow.
So he can do a lot of things. But they do something really interesting with him. Instead of that making him a badass, it's made him be really afraid his whole life. He doesn't eat. One of the cool things they talk about right at the beginning of the movie. So this isn't a major spoiler because it's given away right in the beginning of the movie. He doesn't eat solid food because he's explaining to one character, if I eat solid food, I could be biting my tongue off and I could bleed to death and I wouldn't even know.
That's crazy.
So like he gets into his shower, he's got a bar in his water tap so he knows not to make it too hot because he might accidentally make the water too hot, get in there and give himself 30-degree burns and he wouldn't even know. And so he's always walking around being afraid of killing himself because it's this
crazy
thing we see as a superpower. Like we think it's a superpower, but the juxtaposition of that is that it makes him constantly afraid. And it's a really cool character. I really like it. Anyway,
great concept.
It's a great concept. And then as you guys see in the trailer, he meets and starts to fall for his first girl, played by Amber Midthunder from the Predator movie Prey. She was amazing in that. I love Amber Midthunder. And can I just say, she's terrific in this movie. She should be in, you don't hear this phrase said a lot, but she should be in more rom-coms. She's got like perfect charm and perfect chemistry and a perfect sense of comedic timing to play rom-com. She does it really well. So it's got a little bit of rom-comness to it, Novocaine. I'd actually say it's half action film, half rom-com.
Interesting. I kind of thought that she was just kind of in the first act until you see her get rescued or whatever.
Yeah, no, she's in it. So she gets taken and he's like, even though he's been afraid his whole life, he's finally met a girl he loves and I'm going to go save her. And of course that leads him into a big series of weird things where horrible things are happening to him and he just doesn't even notice. Now look, I'm going to say this about, and by the way, you probably saw that Spider-Man's Jacob Batalon.
Yeah,
isn't
right.
it?
Batalon, yeah.
Yeah.
Funny little side character. He's only got about 10 minutes of screen time. For a lot of the movie, you only hear him talking to Novocaine on the phone. And then at some point, by the way, there's a scene in the trailer where Jacob Batalon is saying to him, you can't feel pain, but you can still get killed.
Right.
Yeah, that's not in the movie.
Huh.
Yeah, not in the movie.
I'm looking, were you aware of this? Jack Quaid and Amber Midthunder went to an NBA game and he was dressed up like beat up. This goes along.
Oh, yes.
This goes along with the Paramount marketing. That marketing.
It's not just
with
Paramount.
Smile.
It's not just Paramount. Remember recently, before the beginning of this season of
Severance, right?
All the guys from Severance went down, and yeah, this more kind of. I hate using the term guerrilla marketing.
Guerrilla marketing.
But it seems to be catching on more and more that they do this stuff. So anyway, Jacob Batalon is, when he's on screen, he's actually really he's got maybe the best joke in the movie. Now, there are some people who I've seen suggesting that this could be like the next John Wick franchise and blah, blah. This ain't no John Wick.
Yeah.
Okay. It ain't no John Wick. This is a charming, fun little movie that is totally worth going to see. I recommend going to see it. Okay. Let's be very clear. I definitely recommend going to see it. It's a fun, enjoyable, really violent, but it's a fun, lighthearted rom-com action film. And I was totally delighted by it. I really liked it. But there's also a lot of things in it that if they paid more attention to it and they did it better, this could have been a great movie. Like, for instance, everything involving the police was completely stupid. Like, police wouldn't do that, and police wouldn't do that, and that's not how that would happen, and that's not how that would happen. And it was just like, it was so infuriating. That's like, oh, this is really taking away from the movie. So I would basically say this: a movie that is completely worth seeing, a movie I absolutely got some joy out of and had a fun time watching, but I won't be going to see it again. And it's definitely not going to make it into my top 20 movies of the year list or anything else. It's not the grand beginning of a new franchise. It is what it is. It's a fun little movie, but I don't think it's much more than that. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor for today's episode, Ridge. All right guys, let's talk wallets for a second. If you are still using that bulky, falling apart, overstuffed leather wallet, then it's time for an upgrade. I've had my eye on Ridge wallets for a couple of years now, and I finally recently made the switch to it, and I am absolutely never going back. This thing looks great, it's sleek, ultra minimalist, and can hold up to 12 cards plus cash, all without bulking up my pockets. It's made from high performance materials like carbon fiber and titanium, meaning it's built to last a lifetime. Ridge will even back it with a lifetime warranty. And this thing has the dual combo of looking great and being far more comfortable than that thick wallet. Because there's no win with the thick wallet, right? Like if you put it in your back pocket, it's uncomfortable to sit down, and it looks absolutely stupid in the front of your pants if you shove it into your front pocket. And right now, Ridge is having their once-a-year anniversary sale. Get up to 40% off at ridge.com/Campea. Just head over to ridge.com/Campea to see their biggest sale of the year. Now, after you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that I sent you. Once again, that's ridge.com/Campea.
Now, is Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's son, is he the villain in this?
I didn't even know he was in it.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson's son is in this.
I had no idea Jack Nicholson's son's in this.
Ray Nicholson.
So I have no idea who his character is.
Okay, let me actually.
I could have been looking at him and I would have had no idea.
Oh, well, here's the image of him.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's the main villain.
Yeah.
You know what? He's pretty good in it.
Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering.
He was a good bad guy.
So it's
in
the.
You know, he could play the Joker.
he's just look at his face.
Yeah.
He naturally got the Joker smile.
So it's like
He
the
got that from
Hollywood
his
kids.
dad.
The Hollywood kids, and they're.
I had no idea that was Jack Nicholson's son.
Yeah, looks exactly like him. Has his face.
You know what? And again, he's really quite good in it.
Okay, that's good to hear.
I didn't recognize any of the villains in it, like any of the actors playing any of the
But
villains.
he's the main one. Is he the main
He's
one?
the main bad guy.
The main
And-
guy.
Could you tell us a little bit about if a guy can't feel pain? What's his angle here? What's his angle? Ray Nicholson's angle as in beating this.
Well,
if he's
remember, I could go up and punch somebody in the face, and if I hit them hard enough, it's still going to knock them out. They may not wake up sore, but they're still going to be knocked out. You puncture somebody's lung, maybe they don't feel the pain, but
Oh, right,
have
right,
to
right.
have a hard
You're
time
right, you're right, you're
breathing.
right. I didn't even think about it that way.
You cut a guy enough, he may not feel the pain of it, but then he might start getting lightheaded and pass out because of blood loss. So that's the thing. That's the interesting thing about Jack's character in this, is that, well, having this superpower of not being able to feel pain,
You could still die.
it actually makes him live in fear because, like,
You're vulnerable.
he can't defend himself against a lot of things that would kill him because pain is what alerts us to something being wrong. Pain is what alerts us. But oh my God, I got to tell you this though. Got to tell you this. So I'm a guy who, when I'm watching these movies, I don't get grossed out by a monster grabbing a person and ripping their head off or pulling their body in half so their intestines pour out. I mean, that's cool, but that never makes me go, ooh. You know what gets me? The most horrific thing I've ever seen in a movie is in A Quiet Place.
Oh, yeah.
When Emily Blunt is just walking down those stairs and you see her, you can see she's about to step on the nail and she steps on the nail. Nothing has made every muscle in my body spasm more in a movie than that.
Did you feel the same way when Harry was walking into the Home Alone house and is about to step on the ornaments? I felt exactly the same.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So like in Novocaine, you see in the trailer like this giant spiked ball falls from the ceiling and sticks into Novocaine's back, and he's just, what was that? Like, it's not that stuff. But there's a scene where a character gets their finger grabbed and broken in like that. See, you can show me 20 guys getting decapitated.
Because you know the pain.
But you
of
show
that.
me somebody's finger break, and I'm like,
Yeah. Because you can understand that
Yeah,
raw
you relate
nerve,
with it.
that raw nerve hitting you, and you can empathize with that. You know.
You can relate with it. You can, oh my God, that could happen to me any second.
Same
and
thing
so
with-
it's
yeah.
way more chilling. to me.
Same thing as getting a nail ripped off your finger or something like that.
yeah.
So
That
all I
stuff
will
sucks.
say is, while there's some bombastic, violent stuff that happens to Novocaine, is like, like you see in the trailer, him sticking his hand in a deep fryer
Right.
to grab a gun.
That was pretty
like,
gross.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that.
Oh God.
But there's also a lot of those little violent things that we can totally, like somebody's finger getting bent the wrong way. It's like, that's the stuff that really freaks me out. So again, at the end of the day,
Sounds pretty good.
is this a top 10, top 20 movie of the year? No. But is it worth, if you've got some time this weekend, to go buy a ticket and go see it? I say yes. And you know what? I think Jack Quaid, there's a lot of people talking about the Nepo baby thing. I never knew Jack Quaid was Dennis Quaid's kid when I first saw The Boys. All I knew is that this kid's good in this role. I think Jack Quaid can be a star. I really do. And I think Amber Midthunder can be a star. I really do. And I love seeing Jacob Bartolone in something other than Spider-Man. It's a fun little movie. There's enjoyment to be had. Just don't expect one of your favorite films of all time. That's what I'll say about it. So anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to see Novocaine? I don't think a lot of people are rushing out to go see it, but I think it's worth it. If you did, what did you think about it? Whatever your guys' thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.